So mental skills is one of the big themes, but all I know is we've got to get better, and that's why we're here. Over the next couple of days, there'll be situations that are uncomfortable. Number one reason we're here is to try and help us win the Premiership in 2025, boys. There's a trophy sitting there that 17 teams have equal rights to. It all matters, and this year, basically, it matters again.
Back in Vegas, when the Premiership coach began steering his Panthers towards 5 straight, betcha he's thinking about gifted opponents like this guy. Like the Storm captain, Harry Grant, all thunder and lightning, very, very frightening. Suddenly, the 2025 finals arrive, all live here on Fox League. First up, this Friday night, it's the Melbourne Storm and the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. Katoa versus Kickow. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Cam Munster, gone like a breath of wind. And Stephen Crichton, imagine him coming at you. The runaway truck with no driver.
Let's go! And the dogs are barking!
Saturday from 2:30, sudden death finals football. And we're across the ditch on high alert for the New Zealand Warriors and the aforementioned Penrith Panthers.
Oh!
Despite Coach Cleary's pre-season theatrics, his Panthers, they appeared cactus, running dead last of the 17 teams after 12 rounds of competition. 17th.
Bit heavy, wasn't it?
Then the magic returned.
Oh, it's everywhere!
The big show back on the road. Warriors coach Andrew Webster's no stranger, having performed as Ivan Cleary's assistant at the Panthers for their 2021 and 2022 Premiership triumphs. With his inside knowledge, Webster pinched Kiwi international James Fisher-Harris from Penrith. Yeah, and he found Leka Halasima in New Zealand rugby.
Unbelievable!
Leka the Wrecker. Saturday night, sudden death again. This time, the Sharks and the Roosters.
Here we go.
Stay calm, stay clear. Ready?
Craig Fitzgibbon and Trent Robinson, they're old mates, which is rare with coaches in our game. Fitzy served as Robbo's assistant for the Chooks' 3 last premierships, 2013, 18 and 19. But it will be all bets off come Saturday night. For the informed Roosters, there's the high-flying wingers and the get-out-of-here options.
Champagne Rugby League!
And for the Sharks, there's Nico Hynes for finesse, and then there's Adam Fanua-Blake, as in none of your business, buddy.
Let's play footy. Yeah! Come on!
Then Sunday, 2:30, this is what finals football's all about. The Raiders and the Broncos.
Now that's going to get the Broncos rolled up.
What a matchup.
Don't you just love rugby league?
The last time these two met in finals was 1995. Still rated one of the greatest rugby league matches ever. In the halves alone, it was Laurie Daley versus Kevin Walters. Captains, Ricky Stuart and Alan Langer. Stick and Alfie.
Langer, look the first try of the match.
History shows the Raiders won 14-8, but trust me, there was no loser. This time around, it's Hudson Young and Ethan Strange up against Reece Walsh and Payne Haas. How's that? Live and in 4K Ultra HD, the way I like it.
So let's go. 8 teams, 8 games. The NRL finals right here on Fox League.
If that doesn't fire you up, nothing will. Welcome to NRL 360, Rugby League from every angle, brought to you by Regain. Joining me again, the great Gordon Tallis, Paul Crawley and Dean Ritchie. What a teaser that was to get us started for this year's semi-finals, which I believe are the most open in recent times. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. But how good's that teaser by Nate?
That was great.
Mate, he was refereeing too right at the end. How good.
It really is, Braith.
honestly, you look at all the teams in the top 8, and on their day, anyone can beat anyone. And I think that's the genuine theme of this season, and it comes down to the best 8 teams, and good luck.
Matty Noble knows how to get the juices flowing, doesn't he?
He does.
He's a genius, that man. I'm looking forward to the Raiders Broncos, though. Full house at GIO Stadium. Raiders haven't been in this position for many years. It's going to be an absolute belter.
You're fired up, aren't you, Bulldog?
I'm ready.
You're glowing.
I'm ready.
See it.
I'm really interested about the new sponsor, Regain.
Regain,
What
yeah.
are they? Hair growth?
They are.
So what about Gordon? Did you help get him on board or not?
Oh, well.
No, actually,
okay,
do you know
I'm just
what?
asking.
No, do you know what? Mate, it's for people like you and Buzz that are trying to hold on.
Mate, it's a thick crop.
All right, that's enough. Some big ins and outs for week 1 as we look at the Sportsbet team selections. And here they are. They're coming. Here it is. Grant returns. Wishart at fullback for the Storm. Carraz and Sexton on the extended bench for the Bulldogs. Kenny sidelined for the Panthers, but To'o and Martin return. For the Sharks, Trindle returns from ankle injury. For the Raiders, Papalii at prop despite injury concerns. And for the Broncos, naughty boy Shibasaki back after the club ban last week. But the mind games are in full swing, I hear, between the Raiders and the Broncos, Madge and Ricky's.
Well, the Broncos think there are mind games. They think they heard when Papalii had hurt his ankle at training yesterday, they thought, oh yeah, this is just another tricky Ricky sort of play. And there was a bit of drama earlier in the season. I think it was round 2, and the Broncos had gone down there, and their team bus wasn't allowed to get behind the gates down at Canberra Stadium. They had to park it across the road, and they thought.
Usually, as an ex-player, I don't know if you were the same, Gordy. The opposing team bus was parked in the stadium.
Yes, it was. And in previous years, the Canberra players would drive their cars there and walk into the stadium. But Ricky changed things around this year in that the team came to the ground in the bus. And Madge thought, oh, what's going on here? He's doing a job on us, making all the players walk past all the
But
provoke.
you wouldn't know unless he coached there, right? Because, you know, some games, I remember like at Leichhardt, and then there were so many people down the street, they'd drop you 100 metres up. We'd get hammered all the way in, the Broncos.
But, you know, I think from the Raiders' perspective, they just have a a giggle at it. Like, I think this game this weekend, it's NRL in charge. They'd lock the gate if they could and keep them out.
But Madge did get his back up about it, though.
Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah, they did. Well, as I understand it, they rang the integrity unit, or they rang someone at the NRL, and the integrity unit went and looked at... Yeah, seriously.
Are you serious?
Yes. Yes, that's what happened.
Let's cut through the BS. Large doses of paranoia from both coaches here. And I love Sticky and I love Madge.
Well, you love everyone.
But you know what, Braith? You know what? I don't think the Raiders could be bothered playing mind games about a team bus. Surely they've got bigger things to worry about. No. And I think some coaches in the fair dinkum stakes, though, they need to feel like they're being belittled or disrespected or disparaged. That's what drives them. That's what they tell their team about, that no one rates us. And that's what Madge is probably doing right now.
Last year,
both of these coaches are renowned for it. Both of them for using things like this as motivation to pump their teams up. Now, it has been said in the past that these two are mates, but I'm hearing they're not quite as good as mates as what everyone thinks. Is that right or not?
I don't think they ever were great mates. Like, it's not like Ricky and Craig Bellamy or Ricky and Kevy Walters, you know, where they're genuine friends, and they have been. Like, what happened was... Maguire played at Canberra, you know, and they knew one another. And then when the Raiders were looking for a defence coach 2 years ago, I think it was, or 3 years ago, he took the job down there and they worked together. I think there was a little bit of animosity when Madge left. I certainly know that the Raiders didn't think Madge was completely upfront when he was going for the New South Wales job, right? And then he was also trying to hold on to the Kiwi job and he wanted to stay at the Raiders and then basically ended up losing the Kiwi job too and the Raiders made their decision to let him go too. And I think at that stage, you know, everything wasn't hunky-dory. But as you know, that's rugby league. I don't think they're the, you know, I don't think there's any major dramas.
No, but they're just,
I think you're right, Cross. I don't think it was a full-on blue, but you're quite right. When Madge went to the Blues, they were asking him questions, and the Raiders don't feel that Madge was being totally upfront with them. And you know what Ricky's like? Ricky's, if you're a mate, you're a mate. You're upfront, you're fair dinkum. and tell the truth. And I think that's where there was a fallout. I think at that time a few Raiders officials said, come on boys, get into a room and sort it out, and they have. They're okay now, but there was a little bit of unease among the pair of them.
The gloves will be off on Sunday.
Mate,
The
you've been
gloves
coached
are
by
off.
Ricky.
Yeah.
You'd know if he didn't like you, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah. He'd tell you straight. There's no doubt
You know
about
what
it.
Rick's like, don't you, Braith?
Oh, yeah,
if you're a
he's
mate,
very-
you're a mate. You know,
very-
And he
that's
doesn't
it.
hold grudges, Ricky.
No BS. no, he doesn't. Yeah.
No, you know what? You got two of the most passionate coaches
Love it.
that have ever coached in our game, going
Adds
toe
to-
to toe,
adds to
and
it.
similar styles.
And it'll rub off. It'll rub off on the players.
Of
you know,
course.
When you think about this game, the thing that excites me as much as watching the way that these sides going about attack, it's the two forward packs going after each other.
Well, just before we get to any of that, Josh Papalii, how serious is the injury, though? Have we heard any clear information out of Canberra? Is he in serious doubt?
Yeah, he is. Well, he definitely went down at training yesterday. He definitely left the field in a moon boot. He's been in it since. I think he took it off this morning and did some rehabilitation sort of work and then put it back on. He's in huge doubt for the game.
Okay.
But the Raiders are still hoping he'll play.
Yeah.
And I don't know, you tell me, like an ankle injury, big man like that, your mobility, how does it affect you?
Yeah. Well, it does, and it's because
Is it fair income?
Hey?
Is he in a moon boot? I'm just joking, Braith. I'm just joking.
mate,
but
he was in
it's
a
all
moon boot,
part of the
wasn't
mind
he? Hang on,
games. Let's
fake-
whack a moon boot on him.
No,
but he
a
wasn't
fake
in the
moon
mood.
boot.
No, I'm G'ing you up, Braith, and you know I am. I'm just saying that. That's on backwards.
Like your head.
Well, he's a Queenslander.
Unpleasant.
He's a Queenslander. Maybe a little tricks
Mate,
before
come
Origin.
No, look,
I don't think it is. I think
you
it's
think with
genuine.
his experience,
I'm
right?
G'ing up. But you know what? They will miss him if he doesn't play. It's a young side playing in probably the biggest game of most of their careers, and they're going to need Big Papa out there to lead the way.
Yeah.
On the flip side too, Reece Walsh, he limped off the training field today. Have we got any further information as to how serious this is?
Yeah, no, he's okay. I checked in with Bomber Bedell this afternoon. He was all over it. It's calf tightness. He did hobble off the field, as you can see right there. They've checked in with Michael Maguire. He's fine. There isn't a problem. It was more precautionary, and he will be most certainly there at fullback
We saw
at GIO
him
Stadium.
limping after a warm-up, one of those games. I think it was a Sunday afternoon. You guys,
That was his knee.
Yeah,
That was
he
his
jarred
knee.
his knee. So
Which he's been. How
you would
good's
think
he
he'd be
been?
right.
He looks like he'll be fine. Now, of
Might
course-
add too, sorry,
Yeah,
Braith, that
definitely.
Adam Reynolds trained with the second string side today. So he's
Okay.
back out there running,
Yeah.
training, but obviously he's not playing in this
We've got
game.
Adam Reynolds coming up on the show, so we can ask him ourselves when he will be back. Hopefully it's next week. Now, Reece Walsh, he has been in great form. Crawls, I know you've been a fan of the way that he's played. I certainly have. What do you put it down to?
You know what? The Broncos on the weekend, and Reece Walsh in particular, he played like everyone has been wanting him to play all year. There was no mistakes. Well, there was one. There was one drop ball in that game. The previous week, he'd made 6. No one was ever critical of what Reece Walsh can do. It was like minimising the mistakes, playing with a bit more maturity. And on the weekend, he was breathtaking.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the Broncos that we've been waiting to see all season. And they've got it right at the right time of the year. It clinched them a top 4 spot. And, you know, you walk away from watching them on the weekend, you think, wow. Now, if they're not favourites, they probably should be going into this final series.
Gordy, I'll ask you, do you think Walsh's form has lifted because he's getting earlier ball with Benny Hunt? And please don't mistake that as me. I mean, crack at Adam
no,
Reynolds.
no.
I'm not. I'm just saying, though, Braith, is he getting earlier ball? And is he benefiting from Ben Hunt being
Well,
there?
just look down. He was first receiver for like a lot of that. So probably without a dominant number 7 and Ben Hunt playing that role, I think he's got early ball. But just there, he was first receiver. He was dummy half. He got in there and he just made the plays. I think he probably had a bit more time. Sometimes when Reece is at the back, you know, the defenders do rush up on him. We saw New South Wales have a lot of success. So when he's, you know, first off the ruck, he's probably got a bit more time to play the ball. And that's what I've been watching.
I think probably before pre-Adam Reynolds' injury, it was Reece trying to fit in with the way that and the style that the team plays with Adam. After this past month, it'll be Reece coming back, and Adam actually needs to acclimatise to the style in which they're playing now. You know,
Can he do that, Braith,
He can.
given how long he's played the game at
very
a certain
experienced.
style?
He can. Like I believe it. I know you might have a different opinion, Gordy. I think he can because his experience in big games and winning grand final and all that. His kicking game is brilliant. I think it's better for him. I think the less is more for Adam, really. But the big thing for Brisbane is when they do go off the rails, which they haven't done too badly, but that's not semi-final footy. In past weeks, they made a lot of errors, but Reece, just his brilliance got them back in the game and won them the games. But in finals, you make that amount of errors, you're most likely not going to win against the top team. So I think he can bring that composure, that game plan, game management that they do need if they do get under the pump, but still let Reece play. But
it's just Reece ball, I think. No, because I think he's earned the right. You know what I mean? He's young, he's like... And just the way that they've attacked, and when they lost their 7 and 6, there was huge question marks over Ben Hunt coming in, and especially the way that he left the Dragons. And Reece and Billy Walters, that was playing 9. They've scored nearly 40 points a game.
It's hard to change.
And they beat Melbourne, where they hadn't beaten Melbourne in.
It's hard to change.
14 or 15 games.
As much as it is about who's 7 in, Adam or Ben Hunt, is it also the fact that there's one dominant 7 out there? There's not the 2 blokes who have played their lives as halfback, and what Billy Walters has also brought to the equation,
definitely.
And how he frees it up. Like I reckon that's probably as much.
It's working.
There's an argument to keep, especially if they go out and kill it this week. There is an argument there to keep them in the halves. And I know you spoke about it, Gordy, on the weekend, and many agree. But I just think the class of Reno, you have to put him back in there now.
He's the captain.
He is the captain. Yeah, that's a good observation.
Thanks, Bruce.
You've got some minor concerns about the Raiders, dog.
More just concerns about their experience in finals footy. They haven't been there before for a long time. Ricky's brought this up himself, so I don't think I'm talking totally out of school here. They've played 66 games of finals football combined. The Broncos are at 95. So can they adapt to the excruciating pressure of finals footy? We will find out.
You should write them off like you did Parramatta a few
No, I'm not going to do that. No. But you know what? Having said that,
you're making a lot of apologies today before you actually say what you have to say.
And don't take this the wrong way.
Don't take this the wrong way, Gordon. You can read my mind. I think the Broncos should be favourites. Yeah. Given Canberra's lack of experience in the final, I think the Broncos, with that star-studded side...
They got the minor premiership.
I know they did.
In Canberra.
I know they did.
On a Sunday afternoon.
No, he doesn't need to thank me. I think the fact that they are so inexperienced and this Broncos side is chock full of big names, I think the Broncos will be favourites, or should be favourites.
Okay. What do you think, Chris?
I think that Canberra have earned the tag of favouritism. They've stood up all year. From round 1 until now, they finished the competition as the best team. They've got great experience in their forward pack. You know, they're young guys that you're talking about that don't have experience have been their best players all year. You know, the Ethan Strange and KO Weeks have just been extraordinary. I don't think there's any doubt in the world Strange is going to aim up in this, and same with Weeks. I think they're a very tough side, and I think the question about, for me, is that of all the teams, or especially in the top 4, that the Raiders would probably least like to play. It's like, they say in boxing, styles make fights. Well, the Broncos are probably the closest thing to the Raiders that you can get, and it will really be a gunslinger shootout.
Yeah, the only question mark I've got over the Raiders, and Cooper Cronk said it the other day as well, is Jamal Fogarty's been amazing for them, and he has really complemented the young guys and the speed and even their forward pack. Like he's exactly what they need right now with his. He's got a cool head. He's got a great kicking game, and he executes the game plan. But the big thing for Jamal is, will he deliver on the biggest stage under pressure in big moments? That's the only question mark I've got. And
he missed the field goal the other weekend, a penalty,
and he missed the conversion too.
He did,
yes,
which could have won the game.
And I was thinking about the finals because I have had that question mark for a few weeks, and not because I don't believe in him or I don't think that he can do it. It's just that we haven't really seen it yet.
I reckon there's question marks on every set of halves except for Nathan Cleary in the final.
Good point. All right, now Laurie Daley on the verge of possibly joining Seabold's coaching team at Manly. Where's this come from? Oh,
yeah, I spoke to Lozer about an hour ago, and he conceded the story is on the money. It was broken in the Daily Telegraph today by Mick Karayanis. Laurie did, however, say that it hasn't gone too far further than just a preliminary phone call. He is planning to meet Anthony Seibold tomorrow for a cup of coffee. No role has been offered, no job has been offered, and Laurie hasn't spoken to the New South Wales Rugby League
what could it
or Sky
possibly
Radio.
Be? Yeah. What sort of role?
Look, to be confirmed, Braith, but I think it's going to be along the lines of a sounding board for Anthony Seibold.
Sounding board?
Yeah, right.
Is that with the... Okay.
New South Wales Rugby League would allow that because he's going into a full-time coach. He's just keeping his eyes and ears open.
It might be a very low-key role.
Yeah.
But if
That
Seabold,
would help
I'm
him,
a bit
wouldn't it?
confused. I'm a bit confused. If Anthony Seabold is looking to step away from head coaching to be head of football, why does the possible next head of football need a sounding board?
Well, Seabold's not stepping away next year.
No, that's not my point. It's not my point. We know that. He's going for another year of coaching. What I'm trying to say is, if he's about to just take over as head of football, you would think he wouldn't need a sounding board. He'd just need an assistant coach.
I think Siebes is just trying to find an edge. Look, this year was disappointing. They came home okay. They finished on 30 points, so it wasn't a total disaster.
Taking McInnes's job?
No.
Okay, so it's totally different role.
Totally different role.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not a
Laurie would be
coaching
very
role. It's like someone to.
I guess you could argue it's a mentoring role if that's how it unfolds over coffee tomorrow. I think Seabold's just trying to find the missing X percent that they didn't find this year. The
You just
extra
hope
2,
it's
3.
not a PR stunt from Manly to, try to get one of the most popular
I
guys
don't
in
think
our
so.
game.
Look, if they did that to Laurie, I think you'd be a bit disappointed. So I don't think that's the case, Gordy. I hope it's not.
No, I think Laurie'd be great. A great sounding board if that's what they're after. Like he'd be, very experienced, one of the greatest to play the game, and he'd be enormous in that regard. It's just a bit of a strange role.
But does that answer the questions that have come out of that club this year? More relate to what's happening within the club and the dynamics between the coaching staff, and I'm talking about Seabold and other coaching staff, and then you're talking about the players and some of the players. Like, will that fix the problem?
Well, having a good guy in there.
Laurie's a bloke that's been around the game. We all know he's one of the most likeable fellas in the game, and he's got great experience. But is that going to fix
He might be the
the machinations inside that club? That's what you ask yourself, because the problems that they had this year go beyond Seabold having someone to, shoot things through with.
The only concern I got, Braith, is Laurie is the origin coach for New South Wales.
Yeah.
If he is a line to an NRL club, is there potential accusations of conflict of interest if a couple of the Manly players...
I think Billy Slater helps out Melbourne Storm.
Yeah.
And
It's
there's
all
no
a
question
crop.
about
I
that.
don't think that's.
Madge was going to stay on. Well, Madge wanted to stay on as the assistant at the Raiders, The New South Wales Rugby League have only had a problem with giving the job to a head coach.
Yeah. What I would say, though, is Laurie's got a fair job ahead of him with New South Wales. You know what I mean? He's going to have a lot of heat on him this year to deliver after last year. So he doesn't want any distractions.
He's got his morning radio program too.
Yeah, so...
I'm on there.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, is that...
How'd you go on the ratings today?
Spot. I think we won our time slot, Gordon. I might have pipped you and Triple M.
What time's it on, just for the fans?
I doubt that.
I'm on every
I
day.
doubt that.
He's not up at 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
Mate, Buzz is on, he's claiming the Triple M victory today.
Yeah.
He rang me today saying, mate, we won the ratings. Just coincided when I was on.
Oh, yeah.
The great man, eh?
I couldn't imagine Buzz ringing you and gloating like that. It's
of course not.
Rooster star Sam Walker is not lacking any confidence despite his side heading into the finals from 8th position.
We're really confident inside the club. I think we've shown our best footy sort of this back end of the year, and it's obviously going to be a big test against Cronulla. They're obviously in good form as well, and we just have to play our style of football. And I think we're the best attacking team in this competition. And if we can get our defence, up to that as well, I think the way that we play our football, we're confident if we play our best, no one will be able to match us.
We are the best attacking team in the competition. If we play our football, I don't think anyone can beat us.
That's great messaging.
I love it. Yeah, that's a big statement, though.
Good on him.
If they believe it, they believe it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And you know what? The last 6
love
weeks,
it.
they've actually probably can put their hand up as one of the form sides in the competition, really. So don't look at where they are. And I think for the first time, maybe a winner can come out of the top 4.
That's just a young bloke. What is he? 22, 23 years of age, who has total confidence in himself, and you see it off the field as well as you do on the field. He made a difference the moment he came back from injury this year, and he continued the whole way through. He's a very, very special player, and I love the fact that he's going into this final series ready to rock and roll.
That's just self-belief, isn't it?
It is.
Good on him for having it. He's a bit of revelation, hasn't he?
He has.
And he's not far off the money.
When you got a mentor like Brent Reid, this is what happens.
This is what happens.
You just start to shine. Bulldogs bite. What is it? What's your Bulldogs bite this
Bulldog,
week?
right, Trent Robinson. I have done a story about the Roosters saying that Robbo lost so many players in the off-season. The list has been well documented. And what he's done to get them there this year, I think... Is that a dog?
Yeah.
Rover, get into your room. I have said, Robbo, if he can go deep, given the amount of players that he lost, and he didn't have his halfback for 18 weeks, Gordon, stop laughing. I think this is right up there with his greatest ever achievements. Ricky's the coach of the year, no doubt. But I think Robbo's done an absolutely unbelievable
He's still got
job.
some fair talent there. You got Robert Toya that played at Origin. You got Mark Nwana,
Yeah, but he brought those guys in this year, Gordon.
I know,
he
but
manoeuvred
they're
them
fair
in.
talent, you know.
They are.
And with the young halves, when Sam Walker was out, I think they did an amazing job. Like, yeah, it's been an amazing job. But
He's
they're a
won
very
3
talented
competitions,
side.
hasn't he? He won
Absolutely.
2013 back-to-back. He's done some pretty good things in the
Absolutely.
game. But you're right in that, Doggy. I don't think
Cooper hammering
we all
up there.
thought the Roosters would be the threat they would be this year. And we talk about all the players that they got in that squad. Well, that's a credit to him too. And a lot of them have come along, and it's a pretty fair achievement. I don't know if it's his best achievement. If he goes all the way, it is.
I just want to ask you, I agree with you. So you have it as a better achievement than all the premierships?
I said it's up there.
Up there, okay.
Up there. I just think under
Does
the
he have to win
circumstances...
the comp to get that vote, or...?
If he goes deep. And don't forget the suffocating pressure at the Roosters too. Every year they are expected to win.
Yeah.
So when he lost all those
Mate,
players,
it's a great
Robbo,
achievement. Greater than 3 premierships,
You gave Wayne Bennett a B+ when he was playing for a wooden spoon 2 games ago.
Well, he had a lot of injuries.
A B.
That's part of the game.
I know it is, but you've got to take that into account.
Yeah, right.
Did you just actually? we're gonna
And then Andrew Webster's got a lot of injuries, and you gave him a B.
Well,
and no one thought they'd be there.
I don't think
No, I'm just
injuries.
I don't think the injuries
are on the same level.
Hey, it's Dog's column here. Where's that dog? Where's
Well, you
Rover?
just pick it to pieces, Gordon. Keep going.
Well, you can't put.
Is that O'Brien with D?
I just
asked
put Wayne
you-
ahead of Andrew Webster this year.
I just put that
I didn't
out.
put him ahead of Andrew Webster.
You did, B+.
did, B+ to a B.
Oh, yeah, I did.
All right, B for the week. What have you got for us, Crawls, this
For
week?
the week. Look, the Nico Hynes situation, you know, he gets hit with a grade 2 after the game, then it gets changed. I don't know if I've spoken to anyone in the game, you know, of all the phone calls you make and the conversations you have, I don't know if I've spoken to anyone who swallows this. Of what's happened, and I know they've come out.
What
and
are
said,
they swallowing?
Well, they're not
They've
swallowing
changed
the.
their mind?
Well, there's a couple of things I'd like to have a talk about here. Firstly, I don't think anyone has ever seen this before. We haven't seen it before. They say the rule's there, but you know, like the fact that we're talking about another club giving a medical report that is going to change the grading. Well, what happens if the clubs hate each other? Where is the fairness in that? Surely we've got to have a better system than this.
What happens if they like each other? It goes actually in the reverse.
Exactly. Imagine if it was a couple of years ago we had South and the Roosters playing the final round of the season and then they played the first round of the finals. How's that going to go?
It's a real dangerous precedent I think they've set
It's
this week.
fraught with danger.
It's
and
a
after what
Pandora's
happened a
box too.
couple of weeks ago with Stephen Crichton, it just leaves a bit of a sour taste in your mouth.
Do you think that the incident deserves to be a hip drop?
No, I don't. And in that respect, right, it's the right decision. But Gordon, the process has got to go through the correct channels. And for me and everyone else I've spoken to, you just...
But is that a smart decision,
You're given a
saving
pile
time
of
and
shit,
money?
you're expected to swallow it and smile.
Saving time and money instead of dragging everybody in. They go, you know what, we may have got this wrong.
And there's just as big a problem I've got with this too, is the fact that Nico Hynes did that tackle late in the game, right? Montoya goes down. He's got, at that stage, they think it's a serious ankle injury. He leaves the field, right? It's not a classic hip drop, but he landed on, his leg landed on his thing.
Well, it was ruled a hip drop.
It wasn't ruled a hip drop. Nico stays on the field, no sin bin, right? The previous night, 24 hours earlier, South Sydney's Jamie Humphries does a hip drop. Now, some people might say this is a worse hip drop, but when the charges are first put out, right, they're both grade 2s. It's a bad one, mate.
It's a shocker.
But how can he get sin binned and the other bloke doesn't get sin binned and Montoya leaves the field? Siwa Wong, I think he got replaced, didn't he? But that was basically...
Well, they didn't even give it a penalty, the Hynes one, because they missed it, right? So, and that one is severely worse.
Yeah.
Well, it's grade 2. You know my concern...
They got the gradings wrong.
Going into the finals, though, going into the finals, when this is on the whim of the bunker and the referee, I think you need consistency.
Yeah, I understand that.
You either bloody sin bin them or you don't sin bin them, but you can't have it both ways.
The NRL has employed the match review committee to do a job. And I think once they've reviewed it and they've released the charges, I think you have to abide by those rules. They'll probably get it wrong sometimes, just as they'll get it right. But where does this end? What about a suspension next week? Do they now say we're challenging that? As I said, it's a Pandora's box going into the finals.
All right, stick around, journos, and there's plenty more to come on Fox Sports after the finals, with India returning to Australia for an 8-match white ball series and the Ashes to follow. We've got you covered on Fox Cricket.
Here's Cronin off a Kenny special, and Cronin's in for a try.
81, 82, 83, in 47, no premierships, and then 3 in succession.
You get them come through together, you're very lucky.
Starting to Cronin. Cronin is in.
I lost the sight of my eye and I thought I was finished, but you get back and all of a sudden you start feeling a bit better.
My recollection varies with your recollection. Maybe
because mine's the truth. Good question, Ray.
I'm trying to ask the best ones I can. He could make an impact in important games like no other.
It's a stat that Queensland people don't like. He'd give you a second chance, you wouldn't want to be lining up to your third. And this woman said, you wouldn't have the hide to come back next year.
If he kicks it, I'd say Parramatta have won it. He's missed it.
You're looking for a bit of support. They looked at me and they said, how's it going, Golden Boots? Well, what can I say?
Welcome back. Tonight's Ray Hadley's face-to-face with Mick Cronin. Do not miss it. Ray Hadley doing a series of face-to-faces throughout the semi-finals. And let's get to the Bulldogs now. Stephen Crichton has defended Lachlan Galvin. Let's have a look at what he had to say. The evolution of him since he has come has made our team a better side. Everyone in our team, in our four walls, that understand what our system is and what we need. And that's no offence to Toby, because he did what was needed, but that was next step. That next step was Lockie, so he's come out in defence of Lachlan Galvin, and so he should. It's his teammate. Thoughts on this?
Yeah, well, good on him for doing that. Lachlan Galvin's a young man with enormous pressure on him right now. We've spoken ad nauseum about it all year. I feel sorry for Lachlan Galvin at the moment. When I see him out there on the field, he looks like a young man, 20 years of age, who in some respects, I wouldn't say out of his depth, but he's being torn apart by the pressure that he's under. The Dogs aren't going better now than they were mid-season when Sexton was the starting 7 and Reid Marnie was in the starting side. That's just a fact. But good on Critter for doing that.
I was out there yesterday. They were all very staunchly behind Lockie, as you would expect. I've got a strange analogy here, Crawls. What about this? We're rating Lachlan Galvin, we in the media and the general public, as a player who's an 8 out of 10. I'm not sure he's an 8 out of 10 player.
Yeah.
Given he's not a natural halfback,
I square you up? Can I square you up? I need to square you up.
Okay, go.
We've never rated him at that level.
But the general public,
the expectation. This goes back to Gus's comment.
They did. No one else.
Well, Gus did then.
He did. And so Gus is the boss of that club. And he's the one that came out and said he's the best teenage talent I've seen. That's what he said.
One of the sharpest minds that coached Brad Fittler.
Yeah. Well, and has seen
I'll throw on a Gus
great
then.
Players.
He's put him on this pedestal of an 8 out of 10. I'm suggesting maybe he's a 7 out of 10. And that's how we should be rating and judging him, not at this ultra elite level, but let's look at him one level under.
That's what they told us he was.
Is
so if
he
you go to the sales to buy a horse,
we don't know.
And you buy $1 million horse, you expect $1 million horse.
And I think the problem is too, mate, that you can't dance around that. They were leading the competition midway through the year. And then Lockie has arrived, and then there's been changes to the team. And the Bulldogs told us this would make them a better team. And I don't think, maybe 5 years, 3 years down the track, they will be a better team, and he may evolve into a great halfback. But has it given them a better chance to win the Premiership this year? I think as we're judging it on the back of that performance last week and the last 7 or 8 weeks, no, it hasn't.
I'm not going to put up with the Bulldogs Galvin bashing, because I sat here weeks ago and said, I put it up here why they should play him at 7 instead of Sexton. I backed it and I supported it, and I'm not saying that they shouldn't do it, but it's a big call that they've made, and I've supported them in that decision. Yep. Buzz supported them in that decision, even though before that we'll question it. We spoke to people at the club and we told the reason why they brought him there for, and it hasn't happened. So it's not going to go away, and we're obviously going to talk about it, because we're talking about one of the greatest clubs in the game, the Bulldogs, who are nearly one of the Premiership favourites about 2-3 months ago, and their fans were dancing the streets, blowing their horns, thinking we're going to win a premiership.
60,000. Mate, they walked there. It was like American college game. They walked through the crowd, the hype. There was a bit of belief coming.
Well, that's
and
gone.
the reason why
That's
sort of
deflated.
smells a little bit is because it wasn't broken.
Look, Serrallo had to make the hard call. We sat in this very show and said it. We had to. At one point, Crawley had Galvin on the bench. He was changing his 6 and his 7, and we sat here and said, you know what? He's going to have to make a call, and he's made it.
Yeah,
so Ciro's now going to have to stand by that decision.
He made a call. He didn't have to make a call, Dog. Like Galvin was actually playing at another club. He could have played out the season there, you know, and everyone would say, oh, he didn't want to be. Well, maybe that's the case. I think I said, and other people would have said when he first arrived, give him some time in New South Wales Cup. Let him develop in the position, mate. You know what I mean? But that's like, they might come out this week and prove us wrong. We can only judge them on what we've seen.
And you hope they do prove you wrong.
And look, a few weeks ago, they pushed them right to the wire, that Melbourne Storm. You know, there was that Stephen Crichton no try that basically decided the match. So they can do it. But I think if we're judging on what we've seen, mate, you've got to be fair. Their own fans are saying it.
Exactly. They can win this week, and I believe they can win this week and go further on in this final series. I believe with what they've produced this year and the team they've got, they can do it. But you can't think for a second, we've got doubt now, you can't think for a second that Serrallo, Gus, and their own players don't have doubt now after their last couple of months. Like a stoic press conference from Cameron Serrallo, I loved it. You know, he put a strong front up and he said the finals is a different series and we're ready for it and we're going to play great footy. But you can't tell me there's not self-doubt in all of their minds over their last couple of months, just as there is on this panel and just as there is for their fans. And the only way to change that is this week and to prove us all wrong and prove themselves right, because you know, you can't deny what's happened here.
And you really can't. Like Stephen Crichton's done it today, Cameron Serrallo does it in his press conferences, mate. He shifts the focus away to different areas of his team, and he's doing that to protect the kid. And you can understand that he's doing that to protect the kid, but that doesn't mean we sit here and ignore the reality.
Yeah, and we didn't create it. All right, Matty John suggested putting Sexton at 7, so he's actually saying that they should move him. Galvin to 6, Burton, or not should, but could, and Burton to the centres. Thoughts on this?
Well, again, like Sexton as the 7, definitely. The kicking game of Burton is a big thing. You know, they changed that at halftime the other day. Like Galvin's kicking game, again, not bagging the kid. He's a 20-year-old player, but he hasn't got the different parts to his game that the champion halfbacks that we're going to see in this final series, he hasn't got that at the moment. So I think that would be look, it could work, but Burton is in the centres. I don't know.
One thing about Galvin, and technically, is his kicking game isn't great. Right? He's got to work on his kicking game. His short kicking game is pretty good, you know, but even on the weekend didn't quite get that right. Long kicking game he needs to work on. He doesn't play square enough and engage the defenders and go right into the line and play short. Or it's kind of skips across field, or it's a block play. And you know, there's certain techniques and ways that he's got to play. But he's not a 7. He hasn't played he's trying to turn into a 7, and he hasn't played 7. He's a 6
on the run without a pre-season in their team, in their structures. I said it last time. It's not easy,
but there are things in his ways that he's got to play in his game better to engage the defence and give opportunities to his outside men, because he's got some lethal outside men. You know, like
if they bring Sexton back, Braith, is that an admission that Serrallo got it wrong?
I don't know.
And
they're not bringing him
back. Does that not really matter now? We're in week 1 of the finals, and who cares as long as you've got the right and winning side there.
But you know what, Dog? It's what's the point of arguing it, because Sexton's been named in the extended squad. He's not in the side.
All right, now, Doggy, you would have got excited this morning. Nathan and Mary were on the front page of the paper.
Yeah, there's
because you've been obsessed with this relationship.
I'm not obsessed. I just think it's a lovely love story. And I have rung Peter V'landys.
You have?
And he
he
has told me that he will consider Mary Fowler to be the Kangaroos kicking coach.
That's a great idea.
So, Gordon, I'm not sure whether you're on this tour or not. There's a lot of tour throwing, but if you were on the tour, would you be supporting this move? And it would guarantee Nathan's on the plane.
Dog, I think you're barking mad.
Can you give us a bark before we go?
Thank
you, Crawley. Stick around. Journo's up next week. Cross Live, the Broncos captain, Adam Reynolds. back. Let's cross live now to Brisbane, where Broncos captain Adam Reynolds joins us. Reno, thanks for joining us. I know it's a busy time of the year. You've got the injury and it's all happening with semi-finals, so we appreciate you coming on. Now, how is the injury, mate? We see you haven't been named this week. Will you be right to go next week?
Yeah, trained with the team today, felt very good. Obviously, the position we're in at the moment, there's sort of no point getting out there and risking it for 1 week's footy. The boys that are in there at the moment are doing a fantastic job, so I've got full confidence in them that they can get the job done this weekend.
Reno, it's Dean Ritchie. Madge, tell us about Michael Maguire this year. You've had him at South. Obviously, we know he's an intense character. Has he mellowed at all? What's he like these days compared to what he was at Redfern?
Yeah, he's certainly mellowed. Look, he's been fantastic. I think from the moment he stepped in, the 4 walls there at Broncos, he's come in with an attitude to obviously turn the place around, get some results, and look, he's been welcomed there by a hungry group that wants to succeed, and obviously he's brought some new coaches along with him as well. So things are moving nicely at the moment, and obviously we want to build on the confidence we have in the last couple of weeks moving forward.
Adam, Paul Crawley here. What did you make of the performance on the weekend? Would you say that was Brisbane's best game of the year? And if so, what changed? What made them better?
Yeah, I certainly think that was our best performance. I think, our last month of football has been heading in that direction. I think, there were still areas there we weren't quite happy with, mainly our defence, and I thought that was the main focal point of the weekend. I think, we come up against a red-hot Melbourne team, and albeit they had a few injuries, they had plenty of ball on our try line, and the boys kept turning them away. And obviously in these big games, defence wins grand finals, and obviously we're going to need to be at our best, the next month of football if we're to achieve that.
Hey, Reno, it's Gordy. Talking about sides on fire, you come up against the Canberra Raiders. What makes them so dangerous?
Yeah, I think they're forward pack, Gordy. I think, they're well seasoned. They've got a lot of international players there, players that have played in big games. They've got some, young outside backs who are exciting. They're very fast, and they've got some crafty halves there as well. So they're all playing, probably career best footy, and, there's a reason why they're minor premiers. They've been super consistent all the season, and, no doubt they're going to be, up for the fight come Sunday.
Adam, also, what do you make of Reece? Like the weekend, I think there was one drop ball, but basically no errors. He plays his best game that we've seen all season, if not ever, from him. The week earlier, I think there was 6 errors. Does he have to bring what he brought against Melbourne, against Canberra to... We know what he's capable of, but does he have to eliminate the mistakes?
Look, Reece goes out there to attack the game. He's a big part of our team. A lot of success comes off the back of Reece, so we don't want to, stop him from what he does best. He got a few mistakes wrong the week before, but he certainly got a lot right. So, he does a lot of wonderful things out there, not just with the football. I think, people see just the good side of Reece with the attacking flair, but, it's the things off the ball he's doing as well. He's pushing players around, he's barking orders, he's, setting the defensive line, and as you've seen on the weekend, his defence is getting better as well. So he's putting shots on blokes, and it's good to see him, making an impact with his defence as well.
Reno, when you come back into the team, what's important for you in your role to unlock Reece and help him play the way that he is at the moment?
Yeah, just keep it nice and simple. I think, getting him nice, clean, early ball with a bit of room and space to move. Getting that connection back. We haven't trained together for the last couple of weeks. It's going to be important to, put some time in there and, just keep it nice and simple, not try and overplay my hand and, do the little things right.
Gemmett's back in the side. How did he respond after being dropped last week?
Yeah, he was obviously extremely disappointing. Disappointing in himself. He, came in the training, didn't kick stones. He knew he'd mucked up, and he got about his business. He trained extremely hard. In the time off there, all the rehab boys were in, and to see Gem, continually coming in and working extremely hard to put that behind him was good to see. But super relief for him to get back in the team. He's worked extremely hard throughout the pre-season and early parts of the year to obviously set himself up for the back end of the year, and a little hiccup last week. Obviously, it wasn't too nice, but yeah, good to see him back in the team.
Reno, the boys happy it's been, well, this game on Sunday, I should say, is being played in the daytime because we know it can get a wee bit chilly at night.
Yeah, we didn't know what to expect or when we were going to play. We got a nice rest over the weekend, so boys came in fresh Monday to get back into it. But yeah, always nice to get down to Canberra and yeah, play in the sun. It's not too often that we do, so obviously try and make the most of it.
Is it hard, mate, sitting on the sidelines watching the team at this time of year?
Yeah, it's never easy, no matter what time of the year it is. I think, last couple of weeks I've been trying to get back probably a bit too soon, and that's sort of where I re-aggravated the hemi there. But this time around, I'm taking it a lot more precautious. I think the boys have done a fantastic job. Benny Hunt stepping into that role. He's filled the void very nicely. Billy Walters, wherever he is, he just gets the job done. So it's good to see them boys, playing some great football, and hopefully I can add to that in the coming weeks.
Good on you, Reno. We really appreciate you joining us. As I said at the start, it's a busy time of the year. You got finals, you got the injury. Hopefully the team can go out and win for you on the weekend, and you'll be back sooner rather than later.
No worries. Cheers, mate.
There he is, Adam Reynolds from the Broncos. What a player he is. We're to get to a break, so thank you, journos. Thank you. Outstanding. The barking really got me
Thank
today.
you. I'm off to get some Regain for Gordon's head.
Okay. Tonight, following NRL 360, it's Ray Hadley's face-to-face with Michael Cronin.
It's NFL season on ESPN.
Energy, energy, energy.
You know what that means. Friday, busy.
What a shot.
Monday, locked off all day.
This place absolutely buzzing.
Tuesday, sorry, got plans.
Wide open, touchdown.
It's that toe-tapping, pick-sixing, game-winning drive time of year.
Wow, what a catch.
So clear your calendar. The NFL is on ESPN.
Welcome back. The NFL has returned this Friday. The Green Bay Packers take on the Washington Commanders live at 10 a.m. on ESPN. Gordy, how good the NFL?
So good. I love it, mate. How did your Chiefs go?
Yeah, they're no good. No good. They went down round one. I'm not happy about it, Gordy. You a Taylor Swift fan?
Not really.
No?
No.
Not, oh, fair enough. All right, that's it for NRL 360 for tonight. Now it's time for Face to Face with Ray Hadley.